ladies and gentlemen, and movie lovers of all kind, and Merry Christmas, or Happy Holidays, or Season's Greetings, whatever you celebrate, I hope it's a happy one. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's video, I'm going to be counting down my personal top 10 favorite Christmas movies. Now, I'm mostly going for the hardcore Christmas movies, as I have a separate list for the top 10 non-Christmas movies that feel like Christmas movies, so a lot of my favorites are actually over there, but if we're talking just straight up Christmas movies, that is what this list is for. And although I did do one of these back in the early days of my channel, I think it was like 2 years ago or whatever, things change, you know, new movies come out, things get switched and swapped around, so, you know, here's essentially an updated version of that. So without further ado, let's hop right into things. Number 10 is the classics. That's what I'm going to call it, but what I really mean is the original Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and The Grinch. All of the 1960s versions, the original animated versions, those are my favorite, and I watch them every single year. I mean, I could keep going on about their classic status, but to be truthful, they're amazing. They're so much fun to watch. They're just little 20 to 30 minute animated features, very unique for their time, and I love them, really. They hit me right in the holiday feels. And my personal favorite of the bunch, if you are wondering, is The Grinch. Number 9 is Die Hard, and yes, I know you likely saw that over on the other list, but look, to me, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It really is, and I mean that with my whole heart. I'm not just saying it to be on one side or the other. I feel like Die Hard is, in fact, a Christmas movie. Sure, you could take a lot of the Christmas elements out and it would still be Die Hard and amazing, but the whole premise starts off because of an office Christmas party. That right there means it's a Christmas movie to me. What else is there to say about this bombastic action masterpiece? And Bruce Willis as John McClane is truly one of the action greats. As well as Alan Rickman, R.I.P. as Hans Gruber, is one of the best villains in film history. The movie is great through and through, and it is in fact a Christmas movie. Coming in at number 8 is going to be The Night Before. This is one that came out the same year that myself and my girlfriend started dating, and we've made it our mission to watch it every single year. This is our Christmas holiday movie tradition, whatever you want to call it. Every single year we get together to wrap the rest of our family's presents, and this is the movie that we put on. Seth Rogen, Anthony Mackie, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Lindsay Kaplan, Mindy Kaling, Michael Shannon, you can't go wrong. The cast alone speaks for itself. This movie is outrageously funny, but it also has a ton of heart. And the message about family and Christmas time bringing people together always strikes a chord with me. But it isn't one to put on with the kids around. Number 7 is Christmas Vacation, or National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, whichever one you want to call it. This is the best of the National Lampoon's films, and it's Chevy Chase at his finest. It's so ridiculous and over the top, on the nose, with so much tongue-in-cheek humor you can't help but adore every single second. But the family element at its center is really what holds everything together. The comedy is there, the Christmas is there, the tackling corporate greed is there. The what? Everything that you could possibly want in a Christmas movie can be found here. Number 6 is The Santa Claus, the movie which had children everywhere for decades, even still likely to this day, spelling claws improperly. Nevertheless, this Tim Allen original is in fact a Christmas classic that I do watch every single year. It's funny, it tugs on all of the emotions, and it really does capture that Christmas spirit. Even if it is a bit demented, the fact that if you kill Santa, you become Santa, that just sounds like a bloodbath to me. And the fact that at the end Charlie says, I'm going into the family business, like, dude, you're gonna just straight up kill your dad when the time comes? Okay, fair enough. Number 5, and this is the newest entry on this list, and that is Claus, or Klaus, or however you want to pronounce it. This movie focuses on the origin of Christmas as a whole, not just Santa Claus, but everything about Santa Claus. Why we send letters to Santa Claus, why then Santa puts gifts under our Christmas trees, why everyone thinks that there's reindeer in a flying sleigh, but also why Christmas is magic and brings people together. With top-notch performances and some of the most unique animation I have ever seen, this tale is truly a beautiful one that is a must-watch. It's a Netflix original film, so if you have Netflix, it is right there, ready and available for you. Gather the family, watch it, and I am sure you will adore it and leave with a tear in your eye. Number 4 is going to be The Polar Express. Now I know this is a bit of a controversial one for whatever reason. Look, I get that the animation is a bit weird. It was a new technology back then, okay? This CGI animation really was not perfected until only recently, so the fact that they even tried it back in 2004 is actually pretty ballsy. And in my mind, parts of it really do still hold up quite well, even if a lot of it doesn't. But it doesn't take away from the Christmas spirit that fills this movie to its tippy top. Once again, the performances across the board are great, but of course Tom Hanks in his various roles is the standout. Just the idea of this movie that there's this magical train that will whisk you away to the North Pole to me is absolutely magnificent. And it's something that's resonated with me ever since I was a kid. Again, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it certainly is my cup of hot chocolate ever since '04. Number 3 is Jon Favreau and Will Ferrell's Elf. The more and more I think about this movie, it's kind of weird how someone came up with this. Like, I know it's a father and son story at heart, but the fact that it was this orphan baby crawls into Santa's sack, oh, that sounded strange, ends up at the North Pole and then is raised by elves and then ventures to New York City, like walks to New York City to meet his father is just, it's really crazy. The whole thing, the way it plays out is just crazy, but I can't help but become completely infatuated with it every single time I watch it around this time of year. It is probably the single most Christmas movie on this list. And for that, it deservedly earns the number 3 spot. And coming in at number 2 as the runner-up on this list is Home Alone. I really could say Home Alone 1 or 2, but if I had to choose just one, I think I do prefer the first one slightly more. And I do feel that the first one captures that Christmas spirit magic better than the sequel. Very simple story, a young boy gets left home alone by his family as they travel all the way to Paris and completely forget about his ass. And then 2 robbers, one of them being the great Joe Pesci, who somehow didn't drop a single F-bomb in this movie, try to break in and rob his house and at one point eat his fingers in a cannibalistic ritual. Okay, I was lying. There's no ritual, but they do try to eat his fingers. Yes, the Christmas stuff is here, but let's face it, what we really watch these movies for is to watch Harry and Marv get absolutely demolished by Kevin time and time again, year after year. I never stop laughing. Seriously, I don't know what it is about this sort of slapstick comedy. Obviously, it's completely unrealistic. These guys would be dead like 1,000 times over, but it's hilarious. And then you have the Christmas stuff to go with it, which makes it just awesome. And number 1 on today's list is going to be A Christmas Carol. Everyone has their own favorite iteration. Maybe it's A Christmas Carol, the original classic. Maybe it's Scrooge. Maybe it's the Mickey Mouse version. Or maybe, like me, it is the '09 Jim Carrey CGI animation version. Once again, I am well aware that this is a controversial pick for whatever reason. Okay, I know the exact reason. It's because of the animation again. And it has improved from '04 to '09. Still maybe not perfected, but it looks damn good. Aside from that, all the performances, once again, like the Polar Express, the majority of them being Jim Carrey, are all truly fantastic. I just feel like where they went animated with this one, it gave them a lot more flexibility in telling their story, and it worked. It paid off so damn well. And that's why I prefer to the other versions, because it's sort of a no-holds-barred versions. I feel like it's the truest iteration of the story. And that's cool if you disagree. I'm not going to argue with you, but this is just sort of the one I grew up with. I saw it when I was like 10 or 11, and I have watched it multiple times a year, every year since then. May not be your preferred version, but it is my preferred version, and that is why it ends up in the number 1 spot as my favorite Christmas movie. And that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my choices. And please let me know down in the comments what are your 10 favorite Christmas movies. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. As always, stay safe, happy holidays, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.